Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Walaikum assalam. Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
That's great. So I can hear both of you as well. If you don't mind, you can switch on your cams so that I can see you as well. I want to see my students. Okay. So here we are going to study corporate and business law, which is the UK version. Which version? UK version. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So before we start, I would just like to know a brief introduction of you, and I would like to give a brief introduction about myself. So let's start. Kimza, may I know how many subjects you have cleared till now?
Ma'am, I've given the foundation and then these 3 paper applied knowledge, and now I'll be appearing for the skill level.
Okay, okay. So this is your first skill paper?
That's right.
And Ali Hassan, right?
Right, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have given so far I have cleared the foundation paper, and right now I've been taking F6 and F4, like tax and law. Sorry.
Okay, so are you doing a job somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. So is this timing perfect for you? 11:30 to 1?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, same here. It suits me.
Suits you as well. All right. So English is fine with you, or should I switch to Urdu?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It's fine. Completely fine.
Yeah, English is fine.
Whichever is convenient to you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, because ma'am, we'll be appearing for the English version of the paper, so I guess English would be a better option.
All right. That's great. Okay. Corporate and business law. What do you know about it? By the name, what do you think we are going to study in this subject?
Ma'am, corporate are all the industries and all the businesses, and how do they work? Which rules do they have to follow?
Okay. Ali?
Ma'am, as far as I guess, corporate is like a world of business and the laws which are used for doing businesses.
What do you understand by this term law? When you hear this word law, what comes to your mind?
A set,
Yes,
Mhm.
Ali, go ahead.
Yes, a set of defined rules for like such as a framework for the guidance of the people, I guess.
Kinza.
Yeah, the rules of the specific country, like this education is for UK, so UK law.
Right, exactly. So that means you guys are familiar with the word, with the terminology law. We all live in a country, we all are citizens of a country, and we are familiar that why or what the laws are all about, right?
Yeah.
Now, can you
Right.
tell me why law? Why was there a need to bring law into the system of being?
To make people like refrain from the bad things, or the you can say from falsehood and like dishonesty.
Okay, that's right, Ali. But
Yeah,
why
like
do
we
you
are.
think? Why do you think, Ali, that we need to stop people from doing false things?
Yes, ma'am. Because nowadays, like dishonesty has become so common, I guess. And for doing better business, we should like all work ethically and with honesty for a better of our business. And without being honesty, like there, I don't think good better business can be done.
Kinsa, what's your say on this?
Well, ma'am, after these papers, we'll be doing professional job, and as an accountant, we have to make sure and we need to know what our rights are and what our customer rights are. So that's why the law is there. We should be knowing whatever is whatever we have to follow, and we have to make sure that it's there, because accountants can do a lot of stuff. There are a lot of loopholes there. So we have to make sure that ethically are we doing our job correctly. If not, then we'll be answered, and we have to take good care of it.
Okay. I would like to know that what will it cost? What will it cost if we do not stop the people who are doing false dishonesty, breaking the rules? What will it cost us? For example, my question to you was that why even there is a need to bring the law system into existence. Why is there even a need to stop the people who do bad or who take the wrong way? Why? What will it cost if we do not stop them?
The businesses are going to suffer. You're talking about a business or a general world?
I'm talking about general law. I'm talking about law. I asked you what law is, why law is needed, and now I'm asking you if law, because Ali answered, you answered that we need law to stop people from doing bad stuff. We need law to stop people from being dishonest, from stop people being violent or going out or crossing their limits, right? So
Yeah.
my question to you after this question, after listening to your answer is that why is there a need to stop people from doing bad stuff, from going violent, from doing corrupt?
Otherwise, we can't exist here if we are not following the rules. The law is not there. So obviously, the things are not going to be organized, and everybody will be just doing the stuff on their own way, in their own interest.
And what will it cost if everybody starts doing whatever is in their own interest? How will it affect the society?
Yeah, the society will be badly affected, and people will not trust each other.
Ali, what's your say?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there is a, like, you can say, uh, m- uh, difference of thoughts, difference of culture in everywhere. So we need to set a, like, define rules. For example,
You got mute.
yeah, if someone steals my purse, then I could, like, treat him or her differently, uh, and you could treat him her differently. Like there is a different definition of like punishments and treatments that could be done to the person who steals the purse. So there should be a defined set of rules for, like, how extent should someone go to, like, treat with them, considering the, like, mistake, uh, or the amount of mistake he or she has done.
Right.
So that's why there should be like, scenarios and limits should be set, so that the one could not suffer more than she or he deserves.
That's great. Ali, Kinza, you guys are spot on. Great. So you said cultural differences. You said
Hmm.
self-interest. Everybody has their own self-interest. You guys said that okay, because हर एक का अपना mindset है. Everybody has their own mindset and own way of seeing the things. They have their own perspectives, and therefore one thing which can be right for me might be wrong for you. One thing which
Hmm.
is absolutely correct for Ali to do might be absolutely wrong for Kinza. So then who is going to set the guidelines? What is right and what is wrong? And how the entire society is going to work then, operate then, on what basis, right? So you guys
Yeah.
are
Right.
spot on. You got the right uh, reasons. You gave us the right reasons. So let's get on to the our syllabus. What's our syllabus? We have 22 chapters to complete in F4. Okay, 22 chapters. We will be attacking one chapter at a time. Our objective would be to complete one chapter in one class. Okay, and
Okay.
as you must be knowing that F4 law paper is completely theoretical paper, right? And when I
Right.
say theoretical, it means no sums. When I say theoretical, it also means slightly boring. And when I say theoretical, it also means that it's lengthy. Okay. And when I say theoretical, it also means that you need to learn a lot of stuff. There is a lot to learn. Why there is a lot to learn? Because this is law, UK law. We are going to study UK law. So please note that when you are going to go and book your paper, make sure you take the UK law version option, because there is global law as well. Do not take the global, otherwise you will get a different exam paper.
Okay, ma'am.
Now,
Noted.
how are we going to move ahead? First chapter, law, general know-how, what the law is, what the legal system is. Okay, there is one difference between F1. You guys have studied F1. That was also a theoretical paper, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
There's a difference between F1 and F4. And the difference is that F1 is more of common sense, general idea about business, general idea about who directors are, who are the employees, what is the things, so you have that idea because you are observing around you in your day-to-day lives about business, about people, about employees, about transactions. So F1, I don't think was a big problem for you guys. How much did you score in F1, Ali?
Ma'am, I scored 71.
All right. And
I
Kinza?
scored 63, I guess, 63 or 64, something around that.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So F4 is different because we are going to study UK law. First of all, it's not Pakistani law, so we don't observe anything like that over here. Secondly, it's UK law, we don't know anything. And thirdly, it is law. We have no clue what law is all about. Okay, we have a slight idea that okay, law kya karta hai, law mein kya hota hai, but there are so many terminologies and technical terms over here that you ought to learn. Okay, it will be new for you, and it will be it might take time for you to grasp it, to learn it. Okay, let's move on to the format of the exam. The format of the exams will be divided into section A, section B. Section A would be having 45 MCQs, a mixture of 1 or 2 marks each. Section B would have 5 MTQs. What are MTQs, Ali?
Mm, multiple choice, multiple, like in the tick question.
Multiple
Um,
choice questions is
you
MCQs,
can say
and MTQs are multiple tasking questions. Okay,
tasking question. Yeah,
right? So
drag and drop and like that.
there will be a scenario given to you, and according to the scenario or related to the scenario, 5 questions will be asked, and each question or each MTQ would total of 6 marks. Okay,
Okay.
passing marks you all know is 50%. No need to say this. Okay, let's start with chapter 1, law and legal system. All right, guys, I will be following BPP. I hope that's not a problem for you. If you need the
Mm,
PDF version, I can share the PDF version with you. If you need to buy the textbook, go ahead, and the revision kit as well. Okay.
okay.
What is law? We have discussed about it. Just let's go through the technical definition given by ACCA. Yes, Kinza, please read.
What is law? Law is the enforceable body of rules that govern any society.
That's it. Okay. I'm not going to explain this again. We have discussed this. You guys know about it. Okay. Moving ahead, types of law. What are the different types of law, Ali?
The English legal system distinguishes several different types of laws: common law and equity, statutory law, uh, private law and public law, criminal law and civil law.
Okay, which one is the easiest one which you think you know about it or you have an idea about
Criminal law
And
and
common
civil
law.
law.
it? Okay, Ali, criminal law, explain what it is.
Like the law which relates to the crime happening in the society, and the civil law, the laws which are defining set rules for the common people of the society.
Okay. Kinza, what about common law?
Common law is just about the general problems of the society, general rules for the society.
Okay. And anybody has any idea about statute law?
No.
statue, I guess, state laws,
Okay, you're close.
statutory.
You're there.
Hmm.
Next, private law and public law.
Public law is for something related to the government, and private is like maybe
Personal
private
life.
firms and yeah, personal. Private.
Okay, let me tell you a story. Long time ago, most probably 8,000 years ago, right?
Right.
When there was a system where kings used to rule, okay, and there were kingdoms. And the king used to rule the kingdom, and the kingdom had a system where people used to live happily, they used to do their trading, barter system was there. And the king was constantly concerned about his kingdom, thinking that is his people happy? Are his people happy? Are they spending a peaceful life? Are they having any problem? Is there any conspiracy going on against him? So the king is constantly thinking about all of these things, right? So what does the king do? He's concerned. So he selects few of his wise men and he sends them into the people, into the marketplaces where people work, into the fields, and inside the public. They send them. When these, for example, the king has 20 wise men, okay, and he sends them throughout the kingdom that, okay, go, you go north, you go south, you go the west, you go east, okay, and when you go, check what are the problems the people are facing and solve their problems, or come back and tell me their problems. So these people went, they did a survey, they came back after months and they reported to the king. They said, king, there are so many problems on day-to-day basis. Like they are fighting over the field, some is fighting over the somebody stole something, then this is happening, that is happening. So many small day-to-day routines, conflicts between the people. So what to do? The king got concerned because king was thinking in another way. He was saying that, okay, this is my kingdom, and every king of every kingdom wanted to increase the kingdom size. As you must have read in
Hmm.
your history that there used to be wars. जंग के लिए जाते थे और मैदान जंग में जो जीत जाता था वो उसकी एरिया को कैप्चर कर लेता था, उनके लोगों को, और फिर वो उसके किंगडम का हिस्सा बन जाते थे. नाउ
Hmm.
दिस किंग थॉट कि अगर मैंने अपनी जनता का मसला हल नहीं किया, if I do not solve their problem, what could be the consequences? A, unhappy public. B, there might arise a conspiracy against him. C, my kingdom, I could lose my kingdom. Somebody else will attack and they might win. Or D, if I want to go on a war and attack some place, they might not support me. They might not be with me. What should I do? So these circumstances and these situations forced him to think of a system where he could satisfy his people, solve their problems, address to the problems of the people, listen to their grievances, and then offer them some help. So he said, okay, fine, okay, fine. These are my wisest men of my palace. I have trained them. I have trained them. You can call them wazir, you can call them knights, you can call them whatever you feel like, finance ministers, or you know, the king's men, as they used to call the king's men. And these king's men, their job was to go in the public, listen to their problem, sort it out, give them a solution, help them sort the problem, solve the conflict, and come back and report. And how they would report, they would sit together and share with each other the experiences they had, the cases they solved, the conflicts they resolved, and then they used to note it down. क्या करते थे, लिख लेते थे. जब ये लिखते थे तो उस किताब को या उस नोट्स को या उन चीजों को जहाँ ये जमा करके लिख लेते थे, that was called the common law book. Okay, and they used to write in detail कि केस क्या था, मसला क्या था, सॉल्यूशन क्या दिया, डिटेल में लिखते थे. So
Okay, ma'am.
this book was known as the common law book or the case law. और यही सदियों पुराना चलता आ रहा था कि अचानक से फिर दुनिया ने सोचा कि भाई ये किंग और क्वीन का सिस्टम खत्म किया जाए और डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम लाया जाए. And once the democratic system came into existence, as you can see in UK as well, कि आज भी वहाँ पे king and queen का system है. वैसा नहीं है जैसे बहुत पहले हुआ करता था, मगर डेमोक्रेटिक के साथ साथ पैरेलल चल रहा है, द रॉयल फैमिली, राइट. Now what happens? Common law came into existence through this. What about equity? What is this equity? ये किंग ने ये सिस्टम लॉन्च किया एंड कई सालों तक ऐसा चलता रहा. बहुत सारे केसेस आए. देयर वर सो मेनी केसेस, वैरायटी ऑफ केसेस, चोरी के, कत्ल के, जमीन के मामलात के, वो हस्बैंड वाइफ के झगड़े के, बहनों में लड़ाई के, एंड व्हाट नॉट, यू नेम इट. What happened? 100% of the cases may say 90% these men were able to solve. But what about the 10%? 10% को फिर कोर्ट में लाया जाता, किंग के पैलेस में लाया जाता और वहां उसके दरबार में सॉल्व होता, राइट.
Okay.
How they used to solve it? Do you have any idea how they used to solve the case? Like for example, this man went here and there's a case, maybe there two men are fighting and one man is saying कि भाई ये बकरी जो है ना तुमने मेरी चुरा ली, and he is saying no मैंने नहीं चुराई, and you are that king's man. Okay, you come here, you see that these two men are fighting over a goat. How are you going to solve it?
Ma'am, by discussing with others as well? With others, ma'am.
Others आसपास जिन्होंने देखा हो.
Exactly, with the whoever has got the evidence or maybe some proofs, and with the maybe with discussion with some professional people or maybe some wise men
Ali,
around.
what would be your solution?
The first step should be like they should both be asked the statement, like what's their perspective, and then ask the justification to prove themselves, any evidence or any clues.
Okay, and if there are no clues, if there is no
Then
evidence,
like then one should like consider the fact the like materials, like how material the thing is. Keeping that in mind, decision should be made.
okay,
Or
let's
maybe by looking at the history, whatever people must have done it like before.
Better option.
अभी तक तो किसी ने कुछ किया ही नहीं. This was the first time ever the king has launched this law system. Something like this has come into existence. That king's men will go and sort out the conflicts of the public. So now you are the king's man and you have come to this place and you are seeing two men are fighting. One is Mr. A, one is Mr. B. A is saying my goat has been stolen by B. B is saying no, I'm innocent. What are you going to do as a king's man? Ali said that he would listen to A's side of story and then he would listen to B's side of story. And then he would ask them to present the evidences they have to prove their statement. Right, Ali?
Right.
Yes. For example, A has the evidence that he says that I had 10 goats last night. Okay. And B was the one who was spying on me last night. And we had a fight a day before over some other stuff. And he is taking the revenge from me. He stole one goat. Because when I woke up in the morning, one goat was missing. There were only 9 goats. So I'm very much sure nobody else could have done it. Only B has done it because I had a fight with him a day before, and it's he who is my who had been spying on me. So I'm pretty much sure he has done it. B says, no, 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 no. How can you say that? Yes, we had a fight, but I never stole anything. I'm not a stealer. I'm not a thief. You can ask any of my village men. You can ask any of my family members. my credibility is so strong. I don't steal. What will you do as a kingsman?
I think we'll ask other people also, whoever are the neighbors or maybe some other friends of them.
Okay.
We'll ask
Okay.
them that really, is it true they had a fight?
Right, Kinsa. After asking A and B, you will be asking the other people around, maybe the villagers, maybe the family. Fine. You might get an evidence, you might not get an evidence. There is a likelihood for both.
Yeah, but I guess we will definitely get some clue because at that time villages were not that huge or big, and the problems were not that difficult. So I guess with talking with them, we'll get some clue about it.
Okay, Kinsa. Let's assume we got the evidence against B. B is a liar. He did stole or he did steal that one goat. Now, what do you think as a kingsman you will do to give justice to A?
First of all, I'll ask B to give the goat back, and will definitely penalty B, not a lot, but just a bit, so that other people can also see that there was a punishment or maybe a penalty there. So others can also be careful with that.
Right. Ali, do you agree?
Yes, partially.
All right. So what Kinza said that there will be a penalty or we will ask B to give back that goat. Or if he has eaten that goat or sold that goat, then give the value of the goat. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
This is known as damage. Okay. This is known as damages. Damages is a monetary benefit that you're giving the other person who has been a victim or who is a victim. Monetary benefit, or maybe you're returning back the good you stole. So
Mhm.
these are the types of damages you can, maybe a penalty, could be anything. Damages could be anything which could give justice to the other party.
Okay.
Okay. Now there is another case. Now there is another case. Two men are fighting. No, not two men. One old woman is fighting with a man. Okay. And this man is supposed to be her son. Okay. Now this old woman is fighting with her own son. Why? People are asking, why are you fighting? So this old woman is blaming or putting this claim on this man, on her own son, that he killed his brother. He killed his brother. And the brother's children, they have got become orphans. And the brother's children are definitely this old woman's grandchildren. Right? And you are the kingsman, you come into this situation, you enter the situation, how are you going to solve?
We'll again, what Ali said, that we'll be listening to both people, like A and B, mother and son both. And then later, if I am the kingsman, then I'll find out with other people what the history is of a son, because a mother, I don't think so the mother can blame a son in a wrong way. So I guess I'll be finding out the history, whatever his routine is with his friends or maybe his enemies or people around him. And then later I can decide that what actually the problem is.
All right, that's great, Kinza. Do you agree, Ali?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now the son has been proved or proven to be guilty. Okay, what justice would you give to this old woman?
I think the monetary value is not the right solution for this. So the son will have to suffer in the prison for the whole life, I guess.
Ali, any idea?
He should be punished like severely, for taking the life, because there should be, you can say, uh, uh, a murder could not be justified with like some money or like for any reason.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Spot on. That's what damages can't do. There is a loophole or there is a limit to how much damages can give justice. Okay, so it's not always the money that can satisfy the victim. It's not always the any monetary benefit or maybe अच्छा आपका बेटा कत्ल हो गया हम आपको एक और बेटा दे देते हैं adopted son. No, we can't, not possible, right? So this is not enough. Damages at some point are not enough and appropriate. Damages are not enough or appropriate in all cases. Okay, there would be some cases like these 10% of them where damages would not be useful. Now, what to do? What should be done?
Imprisoned.
Imprison, maybe any other punishment. Maybe this son would be given the responsibility to take care of the kids and the old woman for his entire life. Whatever he earns, he has to give a part of it to the woman and the children. It could be anything but the damage. It could be anything apart from the damages. Okay, now that is called equity. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Makes sense.
that is called equity, right?
Yes, when you cannot
Okay.
give justice through damage and you think of some other way like to give justice, maybe you need to imprison the person, maybe you need to hang the person, maybe you need to give him some other kind of punishment apart from monetary uh, benefits or monetary penalty, then it is known as equity. Okay,
Okay.
we would
Okay.
be going deeper into this term equity later on, but this is just for the base. Next, statute law. Statute law is the state law which the states makes, right? The parliament makes. You guys are familiar with it, right? Why is it called state and why not parliament or government? Because where you hear this word state, you remember we are studying UK law. Okay,
Hmm.
so they consider their government or their parliament as a state. Why? Because parallel to the government, there is a royal system as well. All right. Moving to the third type, private law and public law. What do you think this is?
Private, I guess, private is related to one person to another, and the public is related to the person with the like government. That is responsibility of the government to like have them justified,
Yes,
have
you
them
can say so.
given justice.
This law is morely defined or categorized for corporate sector. There are some private companies, there are some public companies. So private companies have private law, public companies have public law, right? Criminal law, civil law, criminal law, you guys know crime, serious grave offenses which the state cannot forgive or ignore or let go. Civil law are the domestic प्रॉब्लम्स और डोमेस्टिक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स भाई भाई का झगड़ा माँ बेटे का झगड़ा जायदाद पे झगड़ा डिवोर्स का झगड़ा बच्चे की
More of a
कस्टडी का
family law.
झगड़ा यस
Okay.
सिविल ब्रेकिंग द ट्रैफिक रूल्स मे बी एक इलीगल जगह पे प्रॉपर्टी खड़ी कर दी है नाउ इट डिपेंड्स वेदर दैट केस फॉल्स अंडर क्राइम और सिविल right?
Mhm.
And it will vary from country to country because for some issues maybe one country is fine with it, for some countries they might not be fine with it. If I just say uh, give you that example, that in some countries it is legal that one gender can marry the same gender, whereas in some countries this is illegal. Okay, so same situation can be legal at one place and illegal at another. So here there are some small paragraphs related to these. I would like you to go through all of these at home once we are done with the class. It is important, it is crucially important in your theoretical subjects to read through your text because questions can come from anywhere. So for making a basic understanding, it is important that you read your chapter at least once. The one time read is must, compulsory. Okay, Ali, read this definition.
Criminal law. A crime's conduct uh, prohibited by the law.
A
In a
crime
criminal
is
case,
a conduct. That's it, that's it. A crime is a conduct, is a behavior, is an action prohibited. That means strictly forbidden by the law. Civil law. Kinza.
Civil law exists to regulate disputes over the rights and obligations of persons dealing with each other and seek to compensate injured parties.
So what are they saying? Civil law exists to regulate disputes. Now, when you're going to read, your vocab is going to increase. What vocab? The technical terms. For like we were saying conflicts, but when you are in the field of law, you use the word dispute. Okay, so if you will not read, you will not get familiar to the wordings, and then in the question any wordings can come and then you will be blank that what is this dispute or what is this so and so word. So civil law exists to regulate disputes about what? Over the rights and obligations of persons. Rights, basic human rights, obligations, maybe it was his duty to fulfill and somebody did not fulfill that duty. So civil law deals with that, dealing with each other and seeks to compensate injured party. Injured party, the victim party. Injured party, the one who thinks that has the injustice has happened to him. Somebody has taken away his rights or her rights. Okay. Moving ahead. Uh, we have Ufaid with us, right? Ufaid, can you hear me? Ufaid, are you there? Okay. Kinza, can you please read this paragraph? Very important.
Civil law is a form of private law. In civil proceedings, the standard of proof means that the claimant must provide their case on the balance of probability. The claimant must convince the court that it is more probable than not that their assertions are true.
That's it.
There is no
That's it. That's it. That's it. Let's understand this. What did you understand?
that we have to convince the court that whatever we are telling is right.
Okay. First point, civil law is a form of private law. Note it. जो भी चीज मैं यहाँ हाईलाइट करवाऊंगी या पढ़वाऊंगी, please remember to highlight it in your textbooks as well. Okay, it is important for your learning purpose, for your MCQ purpose. Civil law is a form of private law, number one. Number two, in civil proceedings, what is proceedings? Ali, what are proceedings? Ali, you're mute.
Yeah, I mean, proceeding means the case which is going on.
The case which is going on in the court, inside the court, right? So that is a
Exactly.
proceeding. The standard of proof. What is standard of proof?
Standard of proof means a set of proofs. You can say the basic, like you can say the minimum, uh, like support that one could provide.
Exactly. The minimum amount of evidence required to prove somebody guilty. Okay.
Yes.
So that's the standard of proof. It means that the claimant must prove. Who's a claimant?
Who's claiming who's actually protesting for their rights.
Exactly. Victim
One
or
who's
injured party, okay, is called the
victim.
claimant, who are filing the case in the court. मेरे साथ ज्यादती हुई है, मैं कोर्ट का दरवाजा खटखटाऊंगी. यस और नो?
Yes.
Yes,
जिसने की है ज्यादती वो तो जाके नहीं बोलेगा ना मैंने ज्यादती की है, राइट? So that
exactly.
is, so claimant must prove their case on the balance of probability. Balance of probability, what is balance of probability?
The logics, like it should be relevant.
तराजू देखे?
Hmm.
So one is the claimant and the other one is the guilty party or the claimed party. Now claimant कह रहे हैं कि मेरे साथ ज्यादती हुई है, ये पार्टी कह रही है नहीं हुई है. तो किसका तराजू भारी है, किसका पलड़ा भारी होगा? दैट इज द बैलेंस ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी. हु इज राइट एंड हु इज रॉन्ग, हु विल बी प्रूवन, who will be proved guilty and who will be baizat bari. So that is a balance of probability. The claimant must convince the court that it is more probable than not their assertions are true. What are assertions?
Assertions.
Whatever they're blaming.
Ali?
Yes, ma'am. Statements firmly made by one party.
Statements firmly made by one party. These assertions you can even, just to get a better understanding, assumptions. I'm assuming something and that is what I'm blaming. Ki acha, this person must have stolen my goat.
Exactly.
He is the one. Now this is an assumption, right? It's not a
Right.
fact. You don't know, you have not seen, or maybe you don't have even have an evidence, but because you have some kind of clash or you have some misunderstanding, so you're saying that no, he is the person, he is the person.
Hmm.
Now there, Kinza, aage बढ़िए. Read the next paragraph.
There is no concept of punishment and compensation is paid to the wronged person. Both parties may choose to settle the dispute out of court should they wish.
Clear? I think it's
Yes.
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Next.
Terminology in civil cases is different to that of criminal cases. A claimant sues a defendant. A civil case would therefore be referred to as, for example, Smith v. Megacorp PLC.
All right. Whenever there's a case, there are two parties. One is known as the claimant and the other party is known as the defendant. Claimant has attacked, claimant is blaming, claimant is saying I'm injured because of so and so. Defendant is going to defend himself. He's going to say, no, no, I didn't do this. Or maybe he's going to say, no, he is having a misunderstanding or something. So defendant is going to defend, claimant is going to claim. And these cases, these such civil cases will be referred to as Smith versus Megacorp PLC. For example, Smith is the one who went to the court and who knocked the door and who said that, help me, I have been hurt, I have been injured, wrongly injured. So Smith is going to the court. So the first name would come Smith. And against whom has he filed the case? Against Megacorp PLC. So this is the way you're going to write the name of a case, and you will be seeing a lot. Okay, next.
One of the most important areas of civil liability for businesses and accountants in particular is contract law.
Right. Now, civil cases or civil law, because we are studying corporate and business law, so we will be discussing mostly about what kind of civil conflicts or disputes arise in business or corporate sector. It's basically the contracts. I have signed a contract with you. You are students, I am a teacher, right? So we have a contract, we have a business contract. We don't have any personal relationship contracts, right? So now if this contract will be breached, may God forbid, if it gets breached either by you or by me, it will go or fall under the contract law.
But ma'am, it's just a verbal contract. So is it still going to be a contract? Because if we have not signed anything, is it still going to be a contract?
Yes. We will be reading in detail about the contract. We have at least 3 chapters on this contract thing. So inshallah, you'll be seeing what are the nitty-gritties of a contract.
Ma'am,
Next.
just a quick query. What about the contracts made between without business? Should it be considered in the contract law?
Yes.
Or okay.
What do you think? What do you think? Will it fall under civil or will it fall under criminal law?
Civil, I guess.
Civil. So anything domestic or anything business
Hmm.
will fall under civil if it's of that
Okay.
nature. But if it's money laundering, do you think it will fall under civil or criminal?
No, criminal.
Correct.
But that is business related, isn't it?
Yes.
So it all depends upon the nature of the case, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Next, distinction between criminal and civil cases. Ali.
It's not an act or event which creates a distinction, but the legal consequences. A single event might give rise to criminal and civil proceeding as well. Illustration, no,
No,
no
that's
need
it.
to.
So
Need.
now what are they saying? What are they saying? They are saying the act is not the one or the situation. अभी मैंने कहा कि भाई situation to situation vary करता है. The situation
Hmm.
will tell us that whether the case is will fall under civil or criminal, right? What they are
Right.
saying that no, situation पे depend नहीं करता. It does not depend upon the case. It does not depend upon the event. In fact, it depends upon the legal consequences that that particular act will be contributing to. यानी कि उस अमल के लीगल कॉन्सिक्वेंस की वजह से हम ये डिसाइड करेंगे कि वो पर्टिकुलर केस क्रिमिनल में फॉल कर रहा है या फिर सिविल में फॉल कर रहा है. व्हाई आर दे सेइंग सो? व्हाई डू यू थिंक दे आर सेइंग सो?
Hmm. I think that for the reason, for example, if someone is doing money laundering, then ultimately it will affect the country's economy. So that's why like it should be considered under criminal, like because it hurting everyone, it's hurting the like state.
Yes, that could be one factor. Anything else? Kinza?
Uh,
Well, ma'am, it's a bit confusing. Actually, they're just saying that whatever the consequences would be, that is going to decide that whether it's a criminal or a civil case. Like, for example, it's like if it's the consequence, whatever the punishment is, if it's related to the criminal thing, then it's only going to be a criminal case. Criminal, I mean, we can call it a criminal, not the actual activity will define it.
Okay. Ali stated one factor that it will depend upon that, okay, what is the loss? If the loss is for the complete economy, then of course we have to consider it as a crime. And if it's not for a complete economy, it's just a personal loss or some one person's, then you can consider it as a civil. That could be one factor. That was very good, Ali. Other factor could be country to country. The laws vary. Who is making the laws? Humans. Us humans, we are making the laws. I am making the law for my particular country that okay, marriage in the same gender is fine, it's legal. Some other countries saying no, it's not legal. The act is the same. Act is the same, but the consequences are different. Legal consequences different. That why is it different? Because of cultural differences, because of the difference in the country's mindset, because of the religious beliefs, and so on and so forth. There could be many reasons. Okay.
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 Next, Ali. The two types of proceedings.
Okay. The two types of proceeding can be easily distinguished with because three vital factors are different: the court where the case is heard, the procedures, the terminology.
This is the third factor which they are saying that how the legal consequences can be different or why could it be different because of the court they are being addressed at these cases, because of the procedures they are going to follow in that particular court, because of the terminology being used. So these could also be the supporting factors for making sure that the cases fall under the two categories, criminal and civil. Now, moving on to the third topic, the system of courts. System of courts. Now we are going to study the system of the UK court. UK court system has number one. It's divided again into two structures, the civil structure and the criminal court structure. So first we are going to go through the civil court structure. The first, magistrates court. Kinza, read.
Magistrates court mostly deal with small domestic matters.
Clear? It only
Yes.
deals with small domestic matters. For example, मेरे घर पे I called a plumber and I asked him to fix this tap and he charged me. I paid to him. But once he fixed it and he went away, it started leaking again. When I call him up, he's being rude to me. He's saying, I already did my job. Why are you calling me again? I'm saying, it's not fixed. What do I do? Whom should I call? Come and fix it. I paid it. I paid for it. Yes, yes, you paid for it, but I also came and gave you the service. I gave you my time. I invested my time. So, what do I do now? If I'll come again, I'll charge again. Now, the client is saying that no, you come. I paid you to fix the tap. It's not fixed, so you come and I won't pay you anymore. You come and fix it. He's saying no, I'm not going to come. What should I do then? Should I do then? What I will do, I will approach the magistrate court. I will go there, knock the door, I'll say, see, this is the situation, and the plumber is behaving so rudely with me. He's not even fixing the tap. And he said that if he comes again, he will charge me again. Do you think it's fine? Do you think it's justified? Now, हम ये सोच भी नहीं सकते. Living in Pakistan, we can't even think of
Exactly.
this, right? This is
That's
so difficult for us to think that way. But this is the reality. You go in any foreign country, छोटी सी छोटी बात होती है, they can sue you. And so the businesses
exactly.
are scared of their customers because they have each and every customer knows their human rights and knows that where to go and they will be heard and they will be
They
given
have a
justice,
knowledge. Yeah.
right? So the first
Right.
is magistrate court for छोटे मोटे झगड़े मोहल्ले के झगड़े छोटे मोटे कामों के लिए. That's for it. Then county court. What's a county court? Ali, read.
County courts hear claim in contract and tort, equitable matters, and land and property disputes, among others.
What are they saying?
County courts are actually considering the contracts, whatever we have made, like they believe in something in written. They look into the matters which are like land matters and some these kind of issues.
Exactly. That's the case. You have a contract, maybe a contract like teaching contract, or maybe some kind of a proper contract, maybe a short-term contract, and nobody or somebody breaches that contract. Any one party breaches. Any one party is refusing to perform his duties. So how are they going to sort that matter? Maybe there is a property matter, or maybe there is another kind of dispute. That means थोड़े और बड़े लेवल का dispute. मैजिस्ट्रेट कोर्ट में बिल्कुल डे टू डे रूटीन छोटा सा काम था, नल ठीक करने का, नहीं हुआ, चले गए. छोटा सा काम था, बाल कटवाने गए थे, गलती से किसी ने कान काट दिए, अब वो मान नहीं रहे हैं,
गलती से.
compensate नहीं. Right? So this is the day
छोटा
to
सा
day
मसला था
routine.
मैम ये.
छोटा सा मसला है ना, देखो. Okay, next.
Okay.
County courts. County courts में एक word है which we have here, tort. This is a term which we are going to study. There's a full complete chapter for it, so I'm not discussing it right now. Then, Crown Court.
Crown. One step. The Crown Court hears appeals from the magistrates' courts.
Okay, like if the people are not agreeing to the magistrate court, then they go to the crown court after
Yeah.
appealing.
Right. अगर magistrate court में मामला हल नहीं हो रहा या
Satisfied.
magistrate court is saying that no, this matter is bigger, so you should go or you should appeal some other higher court. So then those cases will go to the crown court because the first step is magistrate court. पहले आप जिसको approach करोगे सबसे पहले would be the magistrate court, and then the magistrate court will decide that okay, if this matter is small enough, we can sort it out. They will do it. If not, they will refer you to another court. Next, the High Court.
Yeah.
Kinza.
Ma'am, one question.
Yes.
Like for example, the court itself proceeded to the crown one, or like after the decision has been made, the party appeal it.
It can be both ways. It can be both ways. Maybe the party is not satisfied with the magistrate court's decisions. Okay, so it can appeal itself,
Okay.
or maybe the magistrate court itself will refer your case that okay, you should go there. This case can be heard over there. We are not eligible to solve this case. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Next.
Okay.
The High Court is divided into three specialist divisions: Queen's Bench, Family, and Chancery.
So now this High Court is higher in power, in authority, and it has three divisions, three branches. One is the Queen's Bench, the other is Family. Just a minute. One is the Queen's Bench, one is the Family, and one is the Chancery. What are these? क्या हैं? अभी हम थोड़ी देर में पढ़ेंगे. Court of Appeal hears. Kinza,
The Court of Appeal hears appeals from the Country Court, the High Court, the Restrictive Practices Court, and the Employment Appeal Tribunal.
So, the Court of Appeal hears appeals from the County Court. Now again, a County Court से जो भी appeal आएंगी वो कहाँ आएंगी? Court of Appeal. From the High Court. High Court में भी कोई मसला हल नहीं हुआ या claimant satisfy नहीं हुआ, then he will go to the Court of Appeal. Restrictive Practices Court. This is another type of category of court. Employment Appeal Tribunal. Okay, this is another category. Now, what happens over here? What happens over here? We are going to read in detail shortly. Then Supreme Court. Here's appeals.
The Supreme Court hears appeals from the Court of Appeal and High Court.
Right. So Supreme Court hears appeals from Court of Appeal and High Court. यानी Supreme Court के आगे तो अब कोई court ही नहीं बचा ना. And this is the last court where you can.
The law of the God.
So magistrate, county, crown, high court, court of appeal, supreme court.
Like my question is that like where like High Court, where the cases appear, how the cases appear in the High Court. If no one claim, for example, the magistrate court transferred their court to the Crown Court, and the county court transferred their court to the Court of Appeal. So there is a gap between the High Court, I guess.
Okay. Just yes, Ali. Your question. What are you saying? Can you please repeat your question?
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm saying how the cases come into the High Court. Like, as you say, first of all, the cases fall into the magistrate court, and then it transfers into the
County court.
County court, and then Crown,
and then it goes to the Court of Appeal. So who appeals in the High Court? That's what you're trying to say, right?
Who and how? Yeah.
Who and how? Yes, we are going to read it shortly. We're going to study this, that what is the role of High Court, what is the role of Queen's Bench, Family, Chancery, all of this we are going to do in detail. Just now, I just gave you an overview of the court structure. What is the overview?
Okay.
What is the structure?
No,
how many types of courts are there? So you get a good idea about it. Now, there are details for each of them which we have to study. Now, Ali, can you read this?
Yes, ma'am. In appropriate cases, is it possible to refer a case either the European Court of Human Rights or European Court of Justice, although they are not strictly with the English court structure?
Right. Now you know that Europe is a continent, right? The entire Europe, there are so many countries in Europe along with the United Kingdom. Okay, so there are this whole area is known as Europe. So there is one common European Court of Human Rights where if none of these courts, if they are not able to solve the problem or the case is of such nature that it involves the entire continent's reputation or entire continent's rules or policies, so then that court will be presented in the European Court of Human Rights, European Court of Justice. Okay.
Okay.
Next, the criminal court structure. Kinza.
The criminal court structure comprises the following: magistrate court hears some summary offences and committal proceedings for indictable offences. Indictable offences.
What is it? What are summary offences?
Like they don't go into detail, they just go over the main points and then they do
Summary.
the proceedings.
Small, छोटी मोटी चोरी, 10
Okay.
रुपए चुरा लिए, 50 रुपए चुरा लिए, right? So that's a small offense. Maybe traffic rule break कर दिया. Okay, so something like that will fall under the summary offense, will go to the magistrate court. Committal proceedings for indictable offenses. What is indictable offense?
I don't know.
Indictable means it falls under crime. It's not a civil, the case is not of a civil nature. ठीक है, एक क्राइम है, छोटे लेवल पे है मगर एक क्राइम कंसिडर होता है.
Okay.
Now the crown court. Ali?
Yes, ma'am. The Crown Court tries serious criminal, indictable offences and hears appeals from the magistrate courts.
Okay, now the Crown Court is dealing in the serious criminal offences. And
Exactly.
it also hears appeals from magistrate court. Next.
The Divisional Court of QBD hears appeals, by the way, of case stated from magistrate courts and the Crown Court.
Okay, next.
The Court of Appeal hears appeal from the Crown Court.
Next.
The Supreme Court hears appeals from the Court of Appeal or a Divisional Court of QBD.
Okay. Now all of this is learned by heart. Okay, there is nothing to explain in this. You need to know the facts. This is the fact. Question can be asked that Court of Appeal hears from which court? A, B, C, D. Okay, so
Okay.
that's what you need to learn over here. Moving ahead. Ali, read.
Okay. A limited number of Commonwealth countries allow appeal to the Privy Council in London, which is mostly settled by the Supreme Court judges.
Staffed by Supreme Court judges. Okay. A limited number of Commonwealth countries. And what is Commonwealth country?
Ma'am, the countries which started.
Democracy.
Mhm.
I guess democracy. Which countries have?
Yes, Ali.
Ma'am, the countries which started the Commonwealth Games.
Okay. Commonwealth is, do you remember that once upon a time, UK Britishers used to rule India,
Hmm.
right?
Right. Got it.
Okay.
So India
Okay.
was
Like
is a Commonwealth country for UK. Until now, till date, there are many countries which are still under the guideline or under the rule of UK. They have not got their freedom. Okay, so they are known as Commonwealth countries. They are by choice or by force. They fall under the British rule of law. So that is Commonwealth country. Next, now Commonwealth countries, where can they appeal? They can appeal to Privy Council in London, which is mostly staffed by Supreme Court judges. Okay, now I hope this is done. This was an overview of the civil court structure and the criminal court structure. Now the details. Now when I say details, I will not be going through many things or all the things. I would be just picking up the highly important or the things which I want your attention upon. And that's it. The rest you have to read and make notes of it yourself. Making notes, highly important. Why? As you know, theoretical subject course is lengthy. There is lots to learn. तो जैसे जैसे हम चैप्टर कंप्लीट करते जाएंगे, आप रात में बैठ के गिव हाफ एन आवर एंड मेक योर शॉर्ट नोट्स लाइक द थिंग्स टू लर्न. ओके, बिकॉज एक्सप्लेनेशन क्लास में इंशाल्लाह ताला आई विल give my best. I will make sure that you get the concepts. Okay, you will be getting the concept, you will understand everything. But at the end of the day, if you are not familiar with the terminologies, if you're not familiar with the definitions, if you don't know which court hears which appeal, you might lose 2 marks, 1 marks here and there in your examination, which I don't want. Okay, so for that you
Okay.
need to make notes, 1 pager, 2 pager, just the key definitions or the key terminologies or the court structure maybe or something like that, the things which you need to learn. Now, moving into the details, magistrates court. Magistrate court are, Ali,
Yes, ma'am. Magistrate courts are the lowest ranked criminal courts. They try summarily without a jury all minor offences. They conduct committal proceedings, which are preliminary investigation of prosecution case when the offence is triable only on indictment.
Okay, so many things over here. They conduct committal proceedings, which are preliminary investigations. What is preliminary investigation?
Primarily basics, like
Yes.
the
Before
things
you
which
get
should be
into the
done first.
detailed investigation,
Hmm.
before you go get into the technical investigation, forensic investigation, or something very of of in serious in nature, complicated in nature, you do basic investigation. That is preliminary, or what you do, that is
Preliminary.
प्रीरेक्विजिट्स जैसे कहते हैं. एक प्रॉपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन स्टार्ट करने के कुछ प्रीरेक्विजिट्स अगर फुलफिल हो रहे हैं इस क्राइम में, देन ओनली दे हायर और ये दे कॉल इन द टीम, द प्रोफेशनल्स टू इन्वेस्टिगेट इन डिटेल, राइट?
Hmm. Right.
So then this offense would be triable only on indictment. इंडिक्टमेंट यानी कि उसकी सीरियसनेस पे डिपेंड करता है कि उसको ट्राई किया जाएगा या नहीं किया जाएगा, सीरियसनेस, कॉम्प्लिकेशन और ग्रेवनेस ऑफ दैट क्राइम. Okay, so now we are here for key terms. Indictable offense. Kinza, what is an indictable offense? Read.
Indictable offenses are more
Serious
serious
offenses.
offenses that can only be heard in a crown court.
Crown court.
Not
So
magistrate.
indictable offense, serious offense. ठीक है? Indictable offense, serious offense. Repeat after me. Indictable offense,
Indictable
Serious
offense,
offense.
serious offense.
serious offense. Can only be heard in Crown court.
Crown
Crown
court.
court.
Can only be heard in
Crown
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 court.
court. Summary offenses. Ali.
Summary offences are minor crimes, only triable summarily in magistrates court.
Right,
Some
that's
offences
it.
are triable.
That's it. That's
Hmm.
it. So summary offenses, minor offenses.
minor crimes.
Minor
Repeat after me.
offences.
Summary offenses,
Summary offences, minor offences.
Minor crimes.
they will
Minor
be heard in.
Only
Magistrate courts.
magistrate courts.
Yes. Some offenses are triable either way, meaning the accused has the choice of the court that is used. ठीक है, अब वो तो बात की बात है, claimant कहाँ जाता है, it's up to him. But this is how it is, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, Ali, appeals. Read.
A decision is appeals. A decision in a criminal case in a magistrate court may be heard by a crown court. A case stated appeal on the point of law to a divisional court of the High Court is based on the idea that magistrates or the Crown Court may wrongly interpret the law
Okay,
if
that's
they
it.
have.
That's it. That's
Hmm.
it. That's it. Hold on. क्या बात हो रही है? क्या बात हो रही है?
They are
क्या बात
telling
हुई?
us
Okay,
that
okay.
if the magistrates, there is some problem, if whatever is happening in the magistrate can be reheard by a crown court. If we are not agreeing, if we have some issues with the magistrates court, then we can go to crown court after
Okay,
that.
that's it.
It
That
can be
was
reheard.
that is point one. That is point one. That is absolutely clear. Kinza, thank you. What is the second point?
Okay, stated.
The second point is the court has misinterpreted the law, like taken in the wrong sense the offense.
Exactly. Spot on. तो फिर यहाँ कहाँ पे मामला हल होगा? ये
तो
मामला
फिर
कहाँ हल होगा?
Crown के बाद appeals only and then
Divisional Court of the High Court. लिखा है. Divisional Court of the High Court.
divisional
Okay,
court.
if we
Yes.
if we disagree to
Divisional court
both
of
the
the High
courts,
Court. Yeah,
magistrate and crown court, then we will be going to the divisional court of the high court.
Right? So I hope now थोड़ा clear होता जा रहा है that divisional court क्या कर रहे हैं? It's getting the law rightly interpreted. Okay.
Mhm.
Next, Kinza, read further.
If they have, then the case may be sent back to the lower court with instructions as to how it should be decided. After things they are clearing it up, they can the case can go back to the previous court, and then with the instructions that how now things should be continued.
Right. Fine. Next.
On family matters, appeals are to the Crown Court with a further or alternative appeal on a point of law to a divisional court of the Family Division of High Court. On other civil matters, appeal on a point of law is to a divisional court of the Queen's Bench Division.
क्या बात है?
If there is something, if we have any issues regarding family, so we'll be going to the Divisional Court of Family Division of High Courts. If there is some other civil matter, like any other civil matter, then we'll be going to the Divisional Court of the Queen's Bench Division, QBT.
Ali, did Kinza explain rightly?
So far, yes. Agree.
No.
No.
Family matters, appeals to the Crown Court. Family matters go to the Crown Court. Full stop. 1 point. Point number 1. Point number 1. Point number 2. If there is a misinterpretation in the law, if there is a misinterpretation in the law, then that case would be referred to the divisional court, family division of High Court. Okay.
Okay.
And
Ma'am, could you
if
please repeat?
point number 1, family matters appeal to the Crown Court. Civil
Okay.
case, family matters go to the Crown Court. Point number 2, if there is a misinterpretation in the law, that means the Crown Court might be unable to interpret the law correctly or rightly, then that case would be taken to the family division of the High Court.
Okay.
Okay. On other civil matters, if it's not family but it's civil matter, it will go to the divisional court of Queen's Bench Division. That's the third. Okay. So the first point
Okay, ma'am.
is
Why
second.
civil cases can go in both courts, divisional or crown?
Yeah, it can go to both. It depends upon the level of seriousness. It depends upon the level
Yeah.
of complication.
Okay.
It depends what the case is. If it's a short case, it can go to the Crown Court. Now can get solved. And you just imagine this way. Now go into the practical. Think of the population you have in Pakistan. If you don't have this many courts, how can one court solve all the problems? And it will become so slow. The process will become so slow. Don't you think so?
It is.
So we need a different types of courts to address different types of matters.
Yeah.
Next, personnel. Kinza.
The key personnel in the magistrates court are the magistrates who hear the cases. These fall into two categories: magistrates and district judges. Magistrates who are layperson, justice of the peace selected by the Lord Chancellor. District judges, professional paid magistrates.
Continue.
The magistrate courts are also staffed by clerks who can provide legal advice for the lay magistrates.
All right. So this is the personnel. Nothing to be explained in this. Just need to learn. Magistrates are there, district judges are there, clerks are there, right?
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
Okay. So I'm stopping here. We are pausing here. Okay. We will be doing this county court on the next class. So far, is it clear? Any questions? Any queries?
No, ma'am. It's clear.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so guys, see you on Monday, inshallah. Yes, Ali.
I just had a small question that why was there a rule of queen in the London, like just a question. I don't know about it, the history, but just a question.
Yeah, rule
Because
of queen.
everywhere the word queen.
Yes, of course. UK has a parallel system, the royal family system and the democratic system. They are going side by side. Okay, it's not completely eliminated. They do not deny their, queen or their royal family, and they have not denied them. Okay, so they both go hand in hand. Okay,
Okay.
now, so thank you so much for your time and attention for this class. See you on Monday, inshallah, same timing, same place. Hope you will get down your notes and you will revise till where we have done. And okay, and inshallah, we'll be increasing our speed in the future classes, so be prepared.
Okay,
The
thank you,
next
ma'am.
class is on. Thank you so
Monday.
much, ma'am. The next Monday.
Monday.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Okay,
Hafiz,
have
have
a
a
good
good
day.
day.
Take care.
Hafiz,
Allah.
thank you so much for your time, ma'am.